Mm. Hi there, how's it going? Bonnie Violet here. I'm a trans femme genderqueer spiritual drag artist and digital chaplain. In case you don't know where you are, either do I. Anywho, I just done a interview for this spiritual artist podcast, and so I kind of got up in this get up this morning for that, and then I figured, sometimes when you get into drag and you get into these looks, it feels it's totally worth, like, for an hour or whatever, but sometimes I feel like there's more I want to do while I'm in this look. For folks who are coming on, I'd love it if you have any questions or uh, about anything, to feel free to put them in the comments. I'm really just kind of again, I'm just kind of coming on to because I felt like coming on, maybe being seen a little bit more. um, I just had a really great conversation. It was interesting to be in a position where, it was kind of, when I was getting ready this morning, I was kind of focusing on the idea that of being an artist. Oftentimes, I think, I lead with the spiritual aspect of my work, or even I think of drag as drag and maybe not necessarily as an art. So it was kind of nice for me to. It was also interesting though, for me to get put together today and with the idea of being an artist. And then I think with being an artist, I felt like, oh, I was going to be looked at in all these different ways. And so it was really interesting to still be willing to be comfortable with imperfections. I think that's something that can be really challenging, but that's, I think, one of the things that I really love about drag in particular, or even having some sort of a project or a scheduled conversation or whatever, is that it creates a deadline for me. It creates a like an end time. So it's like, regardless of whether it's perfect or not, like, you're done. And so I think that's been a really good practice for me, is being able to just kind of, be comfortable with the imperfections, or feeling like, oh, I'm wearing a little bit too much, or I'm wearing not enough, or, whatever. It really doesn't matter. And I'm going to have another opportunity later or another time to do things differently, or whatever. And in the long run, it's really not that serious. And I think oftentimes it's in the imperfections, or our willingness to kind of go outside the lines, that I think really real beauty and growth, can happen, I think, in those moments, in those spaces. So um, like I said, I really didn't know what I wanted to say. I've just been really excited about having a lot more opportunities um, to speak more. I really enjoy speaking. I really believe that, for whatever reason, I think the experiences that I've had over my lifetime, and what have you, that somehow I'm able to, I don't know, just choose words and things. Hi, how's it going? So great to have you join me, fellow drag artist. um, yeah, and so, but I've really been enjoying having more opportunity, speaking, like preaching. I'm getting more comfortable with the idea of being at a pulpit, whether it's in a church or in a park or whatever. There's still kind of that imposter syndrome, where I think oftentimes it's like, should I even be in this space? Oftentimes I can be so critical about different things that it's like, I don't know that I should be here. Hi, Tony. You're amazing and beautiful soul. So much love. Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Um, yeah, I just, I used to get on here and I used to do walk and talks all the time. I used to just turn on my phone and just walk and talk and just share whatever kind of came to my mind, and talk with whoever happened to come on and was willing to talk. And I've missed that. And one of the reasons why I haven't been doing that is because, to be perfectly honest, I'm not outside much. And I'm definitely not outside walking around on the street much, alone. I have been, many of you all know that I've been transitioning the last couple of years, and I've become more and more comfortable. It's not me being comfortable in my transness; it's my comfort in being trans in the world. and how the world is going to respond to me. And, I'd love to not care. I'd love to not be concerned about it, but it's something that I've been very fearful of, being in public. The more visibly trans that I am, I know I'm in drag now and it's different. And that's a whole nother thing because I did used to feel safer in drag in public. And now with the political climate, it's different. But anywho, I miss doing the walk and talks, and I miss just kind of not, um, trying to put together the right topic or have the right conversation, or, and I love doing that. I love interviewing people. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. But just to kind of get on and just, again, ramble, it might feel that way, but I think it does help me um, process some things. And I really enjoyed the connections that I made with people during that time in my life. And it might have been just a unique time for all of us. It was like during COVID and post COVID, and maybe it just made more sense then than it does now. But I am eager for the day that I've been trying to figure out how I could still kind of have um, that check-in, because it's really interesting. I am fairly isolated. Like and I know, like, online you'll see me like at an event or at these like big things, and I do go do these big things, but like I'll go do those big things and then I'll be like by myself for weeks, or and so there is a lot of isolation, I think, that I've been in, and I've gotten better with it. I've actually gotten to where, congrats on your transition. Thank you so much. It's been such a blessing to get to um, just live more into uh, a fuller, or even just new expression of myself. And so thank you for the encouragement with the transition. I think it's, me coming to understand myself as a trans person and to be able to like begin living into that. I know that comes from a lot of, as difficult as it is and as challenging as it is, for whatever reason, I still have the ability and privilege, if you will, to do so. I guess, I'm able to hide in my house if I need to and not go out much, and I'm able to do a little or live on not much, or you know what I mean? Like, I think I've been able to accommodate my life in a way that kind of affords me to really kind of lean into this transness and work into the dissidence of me. I'm feel so embodied. Like, I've never felt so inside my body and inside myself um, than I think I have in my entire life since I started hormones in particular. And I don't know how much of that also had to do with like just me deciding to transition, but it all kind of happened right around the same time. But for whatever reason, I feel like I'm actually inside my body. And now that I'm inside my body, I have all these feelings and these connections. And it's just like this new way of being and existing that um, I'm still figuring out. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm a child in some of these ways. And I think that's also why I might not, and again, this is not like a real thing, but often not dressed age appropriate. I'm 44 years old, and most people don't think that necessarily on first glance sometimes when they see me. And I don't think it has to do with me looking young. I think it just has to do with how I carry myself and express myself. Hi, Jasmine. Jasmine says, so happy for you. You are and always have been so beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. I can own that today, but I think like much of us, or maybe not all of us, but there was much of my life that I didn't feel beautiful, but I can look back now and see the beauty in me throughout my entire lifespan. So I love that I can be more comfortable with kind of putting it on the outside for others to enjoy, including myself. It just says, we're the same age. We don't look it, right? I know, but I think there's something about maybe it's just our age or our generation, but I don't know. And I don't know if like also because we're also getting older too. So do people look younger because we're that age? I don't know. It's very interesting to me. I love being older. I love that I'm in my 40s. I would never want to be in my 20s again, but I'm so grateful for my 20s. And I'm so grateful that, um, I'm grateful that I experienced them in the way that I did. And that I did it with the mind that I had then, not the mind that I have now. Because the mind that I have now doesn't allow me to live like I did in my 20s, which, you know, is cute in some ways and maybe not as cute in other ways. But I love getting older. As somebody who, I didn't think I would live to be 26. Getting this is actually the anniversary weekend, Labor Day weekend. 1998 is the weekend that I got infected with HIV. And so as somebody who was infected with HIV at 19 years old and found out at age 20, um, and with the knowledge that I had and stuff, like I really didn't think I would live to be 26. I thought if I lived to be 26, that would be great and lovely. Hi, Lady Dada. So great to see you on here. So to be 44 years old now, nearly 25 years later, is like such a gift, and it's been a long time. It's been many, many, many years since I've felt concerned about not living long, like decades or more. Part of that is just education about HIV and AIDS, and I think part of that is just getting further past the age of 26, and being able to live healthier and have access to medications. And I think the other aspect is just, I think my spirituality, my letting go of things that were, harmful and toxic to me, have also afforded me the opportunity to, I think, live weller, live more well, as a person living with HIV, for 25 years now, which is wild to think. Over half of my life I've been living with HIV, and that's such a gift and a blessing. I've been sober for 15 years as well too now, and so that too is also, I think, something that has, for whatever reason, been my narrative. I'm not saying like, one of the things that I've really come to, I'm grateful for the time that I had, that I did have drugs and alcohol, because I think they did allow me to live life in a way that I couldn't live on my own. So I'm grateful for that time. But I think I'm also grateful that I don't need them in the way that I did in order to have an experience with life in the way that I do. And I understand and have awareness that other people might, have experiences with substances that are good and great and lovely. That just hasn't been my story for a while. Hi, Eric. So proud to see you continue to grow, who you continue to grow into. Your energy has always been one of light and good. It's so great to see you on here, Eric. It's been years since Chicago, but so great to see you on here as well. I've felt the same about you. It's great to hear from you. Yeah, it's just randomness of like coming on here and speaking to whatever kind of comes to mind. Chicago, there's so many lifetimes that we live. I've lived in this life, whether or not we had lives before this one, that's a whole nother conversation and topic. But it's wild. Like in this conversation, that one of the things that I really loved in this conversation I had in this podcast before was, I didn't like, one of the things that's been really something I've really been wanting to get better at is so much of my life, so much of my existence, so much of my even like income, I guess, and work and purpose have been all centered around like my trauma or my drama or my pain or my sorrow or my grief or my ability to cope with that or get over that. And in doing that, oftentimes I have found myself stuck in speaking in narratives that are no longer mine, that were once mine. And it kind of helps, like I can get stuck in that story. I can stuck into that story and that person I was, say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even last year. If I continue to speak I think it's important for me to speak to an experience that I was in at some point in time, especially when you're talking with other people that might be in a similar space. However, for me, it's become more and more important to be able to speak to the way things are now and the way things are impacting me now, or would like for them to do, like for them to. It's been really helpful for me to have more opportunity to do that. And one of the things that I found, like in this conversation today, is that I was able to um, speak to being on the other side of these things and speak with, say, gratitude or healing or strength or resilience or faith, even, um, and still be able to get the point across that these things had happened to me. So I'm learning that I can speak about, like, I don't have to speak fully, and I don't have to hang out in the, like, I don't have to speak in those ways anymore in order to still allow that to be a part of what's created me. Um, and that, and I think the things that I've learned is that when I speak so much into that, into my past as if it's now, it just keeps me there. And, I'm really, like, I love my past. I'm grateful for my past. You don't want to shut the door on it, as some of us say in certain circles. Um, but I've come to realize how much I live in the past. And there is, I think, moments in time for that, but I've really been yearning and desiring and craving, um, more of an opportunity to speak into, actually even speak into, like, what can be or could be. Like, sometimes I want to speak more into what I haven't experienced yet or isn't true for me yet, or I haven't been able to fully embrace or hold or, express yet. Because I feel like I want to speak into or speak out more of what I would like to become and how I would like to be in the world, so that I can begin to continue to have a new experience, um, not only with the world, but with myself and with you. Um, and in the hopes of, yeah, just having the more of of an experience. Anywho, I have been rambling, and I'll have to listen back to see what I said, if anything. But it's been so great that, like, folks have chimed in. Jasmine, Midget, Tony, Lady Dada, Eric. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. And hello to everyone who doesn't say anything or anything. Just know that I'm grateful for you, and I hope that, I don't know, you were able to take something from seeing me in this moment or hearing me. And I wish you all the best. And I hope to be in your presence again soon. Take care and have a good day. I love you. Bye bye. Now I gotta find that button.